Hello, this is Trent Smith with the National Weather Service in Missoula, Montana, doing the planning briefing for June 25th, 2020. Let's quickly go over the matrix. Looks like a fairly good day today. Fairly nice day on Friday. We have a weak cold front coming through. Going to increase the winds on Saturday, maybe some thunderstorms in southwest Montana. Looking at a pretty wet period Sunday through Monday, and then some lingering showers. Might not have too much of the way of impact on Tuesday. So again, on Friday, looking at warm, dry, and some afternoon breezes. A weak cold front on Saturday, and then Sunday into Tuesdays when things are going to be fairly cold and wet, and we'll try to go over that in detail. So starting off, looking at Friday's high temperatures, we're looking at about 90 degrees here in Missoula, 80s, 90s throughout the forecast area, maybe even hitting 100 down in the Riggins, Pittsburgh Landing area by tomorrow afternoon. This is going to allow relative humidities to drop pretty dramatically, probably into the low 20s for most locations in the valleys, with probably upper 20s, low 30s in the mountainous terrain. And then also during that afternoon, looking to become fairly unstable, nothing in the way of any kind of precipitation, but probably some breezy winds mixing down to the surface, sustained around 10 to 15, maybe with a few gusts up to 20, 25, very local areas. So again, a fairly nice day on Friday with minimal impacts. Then on Saturday, we're looking at a change, so why don't we go through the models and look at that. So starting at midnight, Friday night into Saturday morning, we'll start seeing a weak cold front start making its way into northwest Montana, bringing a few showers along with it. That cold front will slowly move through the overnight hours. Again, some light precipitation associated with it. But probably the bigger thing is that as this front passes through, we're probably looking at some breezy conditions, westerly winds. But that front's going to kind of stall out over portions in north central Idaho, southwest Montana during the late morning, early afternoon hour, and that's going to be kind of the focal point for convection development. This model is depicting thunderstorms really starting to kick off mid to late afternoon, potentially impacting the Butte, Phillipsburg area, and then down even into the Dillon, Ennis region, and moving off to the east over time. So a few of these storms could be quite strong, especially down in southwest Montana, with a gust potential maybe up to 40 miles per hour associated with this, and some small hail. So again, the threat is going to be predominantly southwest Montana during this time frame. The rest of the area will see cooler temperatures, probably dropping into the 80s for highs for most valley locations, maybe even the 70s, but breezy westerly winds behind the front, sustained 15 to 20 with gust potential up to 30, maybe 35 in some local areas. So the big change is going to be a really cold trough setting up over the region Sunday into Tuesday. It's going to bring in widespread precipitation to the region. Temperatures are going to probably be running about 20 degrees below normal for this time of year. Many valleys will only see maybe highs in the 60s for western Montana, probably the 70s for north central Idaho by Monday timeframe. This is currently our forecasted precipitation amount starting Sunday morning through Monday evening, so a really extended period of time. So we're looking at widespread precipitation, but some areas are probably going to be overdone, and other areas probably don't have enough precipitation. I'll try to depict that in the next little model run here to kind of give you a sense on where we're thinking the heaviest precipitation is going to be. So what I have pulled up here is a blending of multiple models together. So let's start back here on Sunday morning time frame. So this is kind of 6-hour rainfall accumulation over the region. So again, we're starting off with what the light precip and thunderstorms that we're going to be seeing on Saturday, and then from here on out we'll be accumulating even more precipitation. And this is going to, again, a blend of multiple models. So as you can see, the heaviest precipitation is going to start up in north of the border, which will have some impacts to rivers later on. But the overall consensus is that the heaviest precipitation appears to be sitting up north central Idaho into west central Montana and right along the Continental Divide through this period. So by Tuesday afternoon, the blends of multiple models are showing about at least 2.5 inches along the divide across the Bob Marshalls and maybe up into Glacier Park, over 1.5 inches Idaho-Montana border, and then down in the Butte area, probably seeing 1 to 2 inches. Again, these models' resolutions are pretty smooth, so they don't depict valleys that great. So again, a few of these valleys will probably be overdone, with Missoula currently getting 1.36 inches. Again, this is a blend of multiple models. It kind of washes out just due to the placement of where each model is putting the heaviest precipitation. But the consensus is, as of today, is that the heaviest precipitation is going to be across north central Idaho, west central Montana, and along the Continental Divide. So let's take into account just one version of this model blend. Again, this is just one model out of multiples that we're kind of looking at here. And again, it's really indicating that the heaviest precipitation is going to be right along north central Idaho, west central Montana. And since we're just looking at one model, it definitely has higher amounts, with the sapphires potentially getting up to 3.5 inches of rain. Some of the hills around Great Falls getting over 4 inches. But as you probably can notice, that it's not looking as much precipitation across north of the border. So the area that's going to give us the biggest concern, we don't have a lot of confidence in the exact placement of where this heaviest precipitation band is going to set up. The areas that are going to be under this band are definitely going to get the bulk of the precipitation, while others will not get as much. And this band could shift northward or southward pretty dramatically. So again, confidence isn't the greatest, but as of today, the models are really starting to highlight north central Idaho into west central Montana. But again, that could easily change, and that impact will, that shift in that band could have a huge impact in the river forecast area and exactly which mountains will get the heaviest precipitation. So going back, this is the probability of an area receiving over 1 inch of rain in a 24-hour period, ending at 0Z on Tuesday time frame. So this is looking at Sunday night and Monday time frame. So that 24-hour period right there is probably when we're going to receive the bulk of the precipitation. And again, the probability of the mountains along the Continental Divide is quite high. Many mountains, even the Mission Range, is looking over 60% chance of receiving at least 1 inch of rain in that 24-hour period, where again, north central Idaho, west central Montana, we're looking at over a 30% chance of receiving over 1 inch of precipitation in that 24-hour period. So again, this has the potential to be a fairly high impact across the area. Maybe there is the potential that mountains along the Continental Divide around the Bob Marshalls, part of Glacier Park, maybe even into the Sapphires, could see locally up to 4 to 5 inches of rain when this system is all said and done. So again, confidence is high on a wet system, but confidence is low on exact placement of where the heaviest precipitation will be. So how is this precipitation going to impact our rivers? Well, if that band is actually farther to the north, affecting more northwest Montana and north of the Canadian border, then we'll see a pretty dramatic rise in the rivers around the Flathead Valley and actually up into the Glacier Park area, where the rivers will rise pretty dramatically. even if they get that heavier precipitation, there is the possibility that they could start seeing some minor flooding occurring by that Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday time frame. And the same way with the Swan River near Big Fork. If that band is a little bit farther north, they could definitely see a little bit higher bump in the river during that time frame. But again, if that band stays more over north central Idaho, west central Montana, then it's going to be more the Clark Fork that's going to see the biggest impact, with again Drummond peaking up pretty dramatically, and then once again the potential for the Clark Fork River here in Missoula potentially reaching that minor flood stage. So what are we anticipating after this big wet system on Sunday through Tuesday timeframe? Well, we're still going to probably be remaining under fairly troughy conditions, so temperatures are going to remain cool with a better chance of above normal precipitation during this time frame. Again, a nice cool trough. So we're going to just remain cool and showery up until at least the 4th of July period. So if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at the number on the screen, or visit our website, or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or even our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.